Well, welcome back to my short series on Node and VS Code, sort of first steps. So we've looked at installing the software. We looked at working with some variables. We've looked at ifs and a couple of different loops. So now we're going to look at functions. So functions is that next level of your coding experience where you're starting to, bundle things up to organize your code better. I call it IKEA for code in that. And so if we take the perspective of a Python person coming to JavaScript, then you might say this console log thing, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I miss my print function. Well, you can, make one. It could be that simple. Now, in Python, we go def, but the key word here is function. And you got to give your function a name. I'll call it print. You need to have some arguments if you want it to print something. What do you want the function to print? This thing called data. And then inside, I'll do a console.log data. So what am I hiding? This weird thing called console that as, say, a Python programmer, you're like, I don't like that thing. Well, let's hide it in that. Another thing I like to do is when I write functions and I'm debugging them, I actually like putting a little statement and say, hey, inside this method, just to prove to myself, or function, just to prove to myself that I actually got there. So I will go console.log inside print. Right? Once I know it's working, I could probably take that out. And so let's run that. And so we'll see if inside print shows up, and we'll see what will happen when I print data in that. So node main.js. Nothing. Well, isn't that interesting? Well, there's a reason it's nothing in that, because this is just me declaring it. This is the unlit firecracker. It is not lit in that. And so if I want that function to work, I need to create some data and then send some data to basically print. So here I have a data string that, I'll just close this window, that I will add in here. And then I will call my print function. And now maybe I should see something, but who knows? Let's test. Node main.js. I got inside. Test of an old school function. So that way I can send data into my function via an argument here. It's called a parameter on the other side. The parameter acts also like a variable inside this I guess local scope of the function. Now, what if I want to print something more complicated? So I have another little snippet over here, snippet 2. I have an array of data. And so how will that look in my print function? In that. So I'm going to tell my print function, print that. Maybe it blows up. Ooh la la, it worked. Okay. In that. So it worked, and but I want that cool table feature, console.table. So if I add some more brains to my print function, and this is something that happens on Python land, it's called being Pythonic. There's lots of batteries included. So I'm going to include some batteries, aka more brains, to my print function. And I'll go if. And it's always the ifs and the loops that do the magic. The function is just something that helps you bust your code up into smaller pieces. So I'll go if data is an instance of an array, don't use the regular console.log, use the console.table. Data. That also means that, data. Otherwise, else, do the regular one. And then I just need to move this line up here. And will that work, or did I break something? Alt-Shift-F, format the code, and that, and then we'll go back here and we will run it. Ooh la la. Well, I have some more test data. Keep testing my print function. And that, I guess snippet 3, I have an array of objects. Here I had an array of arrays. What happened if I sent an array of objects? Stuff like that. Will I just get a regular print? Will I get my console table print? Will it blow up in that? Only one way to find out. Let's add it in that. What will happen? It is an array, but it's an array of objects. Let's see. Ooh, I got the table. Ooh, and I got the key names up as columns, column names. Liking it. I got one more test in that. And what if I want to do an object of objects? This looks kind of weird, but if you're a Python person, especially if you took a course with me, that's just a nested dictionary. We've seen one of those before in that. But do notice that this is my main program. Make some data, print it. Right? Oh, fold it up. Make some data, print it. Make some data, print it. Make some more data, print it. Let's run this and see what happens. Hey, I didn't like how it did handle that last part. Right? Now it's printing like a regular string. I don't like that. So let's go add more brains. Right? More brains. So whether you're an instance of an array of arrays, array of objects, or you're an object with objects in it. So I need to put an or in here. Or data is an instance of object. Do that cool console table print. Now let's see what happens, right? So this is kind of looking ugly with the double pipe symbol. That's how you do an or here and in Java and a few other languages. But over here in Happy Land, this looks more like, hey, just like Python. Print this, print that, print this, print that. And so let's see what happens now. Could blow up. Ooh, yes, I like that. Instead of row 1, I get my keys. Ooh, as like row indexes. Ooh, Rob likes. Very nice. Okay. And so now I've made my printing fancy, but simple at the same time. When I'm writing code in my main program, I just print. And then it figures out for me, well, should I do that as console.table or should I do that as console.log, right? And so functions can definitely help you out that way. And that's what, this video was all about. It's just, well, how do you even declare a function? Well, we use this keyword fun. In Python, we use the word def. And in Kotlin, they just use the word fun, F-U-N, right? You have to give your function a name, and you use that name down below when you're calling it. You may or may not have parameters. You may have none, you may have one, you may have several. And then you can use these parameters inside your code as variables. Okay, that's pretty well standard across a lot of languages in terms that languages that have what they call methods or functions. There's always this argument parameter and that. And it's just about what is this keyword on the left here? Will it be function? Will it be def? Will it be fun? Or will it be something else? So that wraps up this video. Thanks for coming by. A couple more and we'll be done the series. Bye for now.